Alright, so here's one of the last videos of this unit. So today we're going to solve compound inequalities. So if you turn to page 15. There we go. Alright, so compound inequalities look a little something like this. They have three parts to it. Okay, there's the part in the middle and then the two numbers on the outside. So what we're doing is manipulating that middle part so we can get x alone, because we have that same goal, is to get x alone. So when we do that, for our first problem, we have our 2x plus 1. We still have to do the opposite. We still have to do the inverse operation of both of those. So let's get rid of our 1 by adding it to all three parts. So we'll have negative 2. Then in the middle we have left over 2x. And then we have 6. So since we found that part out, now we still have to get x by itself. So we have to get rid of that 2 by dividing. So we are dividing all sides by 2. So negative 2 divided by 2 gets you negative 1. In the middle you have x. And then outside you have 3. So we add 1 to each side, and we divided each side by 2. So that's your first example. Your second example, we're going to do that same part. This is our middle section. So we need to move over our 1. We do that by subtracting because it's the opposite. So we'll have negative 6 on this side. Left over in the middle we have 3x. Then on this side we have 9. So we got to get the x by itself, so you're going to divide each side by 3. So you'll be negative 2. Left over in the middle is just x. And then 3. So when we graph that on a number line, we'll still do it like we did before. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. The 2 points that we'll use are the two numbers on the outside. So our first point will be at negative 2. That'll be an open circle, not a closed circle. It'll be an open circle. And then our other point will be at 3. And then lastly, just connect the dots. So x is between negative 2 and 3. So for number 3, you have this middle section that we have to manipulate. So move over that 11. So you're going to be adding 11 to each of the three parts. In the middle one, they'll cancel out. So we've got 16 over here. In the middle, we're just left with 4x. Now on the other side, we've got 40. 40. So we have to isolate our variable. So divide each part by 4. Those will cancel out. So we have 4. Left over in the middle, you just have your x. And then 10. So let's graph that one on the number line. So we'll start here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So our first point will be at 4. That'll be a closed circle. And then our second point will be at 10. That'll also be a closed circle. Connect the dots. So x is between 4 and 10. Alright, so page 16. Last two problems. So if you notice, example 4 is exactly the same as the first one that we did. So go ahead and change this -1 to a +1, and we'll do it using that problem so we can see how it changes. So instead of adding 1 to each side, you're going to subtract 1 from each side. So -1, -1, -1. So we have negative 4. In the middle, we've left over 2x, and then 4 on this side. So we still need to isolate our variable. So divide each side by 2. These will cancel out. So we have negative 2x, and then 2. So there's our answer. Now let's go ahead and take it to the number line. So we got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the other side, we've got -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So we got to figure out where our points are. So we'll have one at -2 and one at 2. And they'll be closed circles. One at -2, one at +2. Connect the dots and you're finished. So we have one more problem. Example number 5. Same thing. We got to isolate the variable in the middle. So add 1 to each side. So we have -4. And then 2x. And then 14. So now we're going to divide each side by 2. So we have -2x and then 7. So go ahead and take that to the number line. So let's go -2, -3, or not -3, excuse me, -1. So -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our first part will be at -2. And then our second one will be at 7. Connect the dots and you are finished. Alright, so go ahead and go to that front page. Check off the booklet for compound inequalities. Go ahead and get started with the assignment. If you are Tier 3, there will probably be an extension, so look out for that. If you have any questions, ask your teachers. Alright, goodbye.